Hello everyone, my name is Dorian and welcome to another track guide with the LMP2. We are at Imola and this week is a bit different because we have some setups to share. Free setups for all, yay! Now, there's a guy called Doc Setups. There's a link to his Discord in the description below. He has a Discord channel dedicated to GT3, GTE, and LMP2 setups now. And he has tons of tutorial on how to tweak setups, how to make some from scratch. It's a really cool Discord channel. Go ahead and give him a look. There's a link in the description below also for the setup that I've used to do this lap on. This is the Dorian spec, so to speak. This is the setup that suits me best. There's other setups that you guys can try out on his Discord. Now, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort from both of us to create these guides and to create the setup that we can share freely. So it will really be appreciated if you guys leave a like, subscribe, let us know in the comments what you think. Jump over to my Discord as well, give us some feedback, and yeah, that's it. Let's get on the track. Okay, so we're coming up to the first chicane, and let's look for a braking point. It's going to be after this access route, between the access route and the 100 board. I am looking at the access route as an indication. The 100 board is just too far away. At this point, I'm already looking at the corner. So let's say anywhere between 5 and 10 meters after the access route on the right. And that's where I'm going to start braking. I'm going to brake very, very hard. I'm doing 290 here. So I'm going to brake super hard for a very long period of time. Only really going to start releasing the brake as I turn in second gear, trail brake into the first apex. And at this point, I'm trying to miss this curb or maybe clip it a tiny bit, maybe around this part. Don't mount it too much. It really does upset the car and compromise your exit. Because from this point on, what you want to do is commit to full throttle the whole way through. You don't want to be lifting ever again from this point on. So around 70% just to get the back end in check, making sure the car is straight, and I'm gonna floor it from this point on. Bit too much steering into the second. The car did get unsettled, and the problem with that is I had a little bit of oversteer here on the exit. You can see I'm correcting it. That cost me about half a tenth, maybe more. Keep in mind that you want to try to avoid both apexes, both curbs. I mean, you want to hit the apex, but you want to try to avoid the curbs or maybe clip them a little bit. This setup is very good on the curbs, but you're still gonna have some compromise, and that's it. Flat out using all of the exit curb here, not an off track, not a problem. And now we're gonna be looking for a braking point. Definitely try to compromise your entry to maximize your exit here. If we're looking for a braking point, it's, let's say, right before the 50. I am not looking at the 50 at this point, that's why I don't know, but it's right before the 50. At this point, I'm just looking at this apex and I'm trying to find the best place to brake on. Braking around 60% for a very short period of time, immediately into trail braking, downshifting into fourth, and as I hit this apex, I'm downshifting into third. So the sooner you are into third, the easier it will be for you. There's two stages of braking here. So we brake very hard, and then we start trail braking into the first apex. And now I'm gonna straighten the wheel out and brake hard again. Brake around 40%. Still trying to slow the car down into second gear at this point. And you might want to clip this apex just a tiny bit, not a lot. This is pretty much as I recommend. And go back on throttle as soon as you can. Now with this setup, we can mount this curb no problem. The car is not going to bottom out. I'm just going to use all of the track available. There's no off track here, and that really helps you gain about half a tenth, maybe a tenth into the next corner. Now looking for another braking point. Whoops. Access route again. The 50, the access route, those are your indication. The 50 is further away, so the access route is easier for you to keep in mind that that's your braking point. Right around halfway through it, don't reach the end and then start braking. That might be a bit too late. Braking hard for a short period of time. We are going uphill here, and then going back into 50%. There's not a lot of downforce at this point. The car is going rather slow, so you don't want to lock up. 50% is more than enough for the majority of the braking. Trail braking into it, late into first gear, and I'm looking to hug the inside as much as I can. About 5% brakes until this point, and now I'm gonna give it some throttle, so around 50%. Being very cautious here. I'm probing for the grip, waiting for the car to stabilize, waiting for the wheel to open up, and as it opens up, I'm aggressive. I'm going back to 100%, using the curb on the way out. Definitely count on this curb to help you avoid the oversteer. Aim towards the outside. That will help you avoid the oversteer on the way out and give you a lot of speed for this little straight here. Now I have done one mistake here on this specific corner, that I've braked a tiny bit too late. I braked very late for this corner. That's why I had to brake so hard, and I kind of burned up the front tires and I understeered, and that cost me about a tenth. I think I could have gone a tenth faster. If you brake a slightly bit earlier, like let's say right around here, that'll be optimal, and you can brake a little softer, maybe 70%. But I braked very late, around 90%. Then I started releasing it, because you want to release it as soon as you can, because you want to trail brake into this corner. You want to hug this apex. Definitely don't mount this curb. It will cause the car to just jump around and go wide. And I'm looking for the... See, I can't commit to full throttle just yet because I was burning up the fronts. You want to try to commit to full throttle as early as possible here. That will give you a bunch of time. Using all of the curb on the way out, not a problem with this car. And we're through. Third gear, by the way. Going back to the inside, and now there's two stages of braking here. One will be trail braking into the first apex. So I'm just gonna brake very softly from fifth into fourth. Just nice and easy. I'm not trying to do anything drastic. I'm trying to keep the car stable. I'm trying to keep the grip at the front. And as I straighten out the car to the outside, I'm gonna start braking. You can see my wheel is straighter, so I have more input. It's a direct ratio. Wheel straighter, more braking, and I'm using the curb on the outside. You want to maximize your approach here. Very important. Late into first gear. Some people like to take it in second. I prefer first gear. The exit is more consistent when you use first gear. It's easier to avoid the off track on the exit as well. So around 40%, 50% brakes, and then start to release it into the corner, trail brake into it. Don't mount this curb too much. A little bit is fine. And I'm already on throttle as I hit the apex. As you can see, I'm trying to stabilize the back end. I'm not trying to accelerate too hard yet. I'm just trying to make sure the back end doesn't kick loose, because it does like to do that. If you use second, you're gonna understeer. If you use first, you're gonna have some little bit of snap oversteer. So if you use about 50% throttle throughout this corner, throughout this apex, a little bit before that even, you're gonna have an easier time to maintain the back end. As the car goes straight, as I know I'm kind of safe from the curb, I'm gonna give it full throttle. This is as much as you want to cut it. Any half an inch to the left would have been a 1x. Keep that in mind. Full throttle the whole way through. Going back to the left, we're gonna brake anywhere between the 100 and the 50. Now I've had a tip from Doc that the second tree is a good indication. I think I'm braking on the third or even fourth. Let's see. Yeah, I'm probably braking on the third, like third from the 50. That's when I'm braking. But I'm not looking at the tree at this point. It's too far from my field of view. I'm already looking here, and then I'm looking here, so I can't afford to keep looking left here. I'm gonna brake right around here very hard into second gear. I'm gonna take the first chicane in second. 60, 70, 80% brakes. Start to release it as I go in. Trail brake into it. Mount this curb. Not a problem. It's pretty much as you want to, though. You don't want to do it too much. If you hear the car bottoming out, it means you're just getting on it too much. And the car is nice and neutral at this point. I'm just letting it land into first gear. And I'm mounting the second curb as well. Not trying to mount it too much, but if this pretty much is... If you go too much to the left here, there's a bump in the road and it's really going to upset the car. If you go too much to the right, you're going to bottom out. You're going to be sent flying into the wall. So this is pretty much the line. I'll show you the outside in a second. Again, very neutral here. I'm just trying to make sure, I'm praying the car doesn't do anything unpredictable. And as I descend from the curb, I'm going to start giving a little bit of throttle, a little bit more, very patient here. Trying to make sure I don't get the 1x and the time penalty here. And as the car is completely straight, I'm going to floor it. Let's look at it from the outside. There you go, nice and slow. Into second gear, trail braking into it, mounting this curb about halfway through. Neutral, first gear between them, still neutral, starting to apply a little bit of throttle, and I'm looking for the straight car before I floor it. That's pretty much it. Going back to the left here, I like to stay on the left because I want to have a nice, easy approach into the braking zone. And I'm going to start braking right before the 100. You have time to look at the 100 here before you start braking because the apex is quite far away. You're braking downhill. Never try to brake late here. You're just going to go wide. You're going to lose so much time. It's not going to cause you damage probably because you have a lot of runoff, but it's very hard to recover from it and not lose too much time. So if you go too wide here and you get on the gravel, it could potentially ruin your race. Now I'm braking right at the 100, it seems. Maybe a little bit after that. Brake a bit earlier as well. It won't kill you. Definitely with a heavy car and cold tires, I'll brake a tiny bit earlier. 90% the whole way through. I'm trying to stop the car. It's a terrifying corner because you always think if you do it well, you think you're not going to make it. That's how it feels like. Trail braking into the first chicane, into the first apex, sorry. And I'm trying to mount this curb, second gear. As I approach the curb, I'm gonna start giving a little bit of throttle just to maintain the back end. It does get a little unbalanced here, so you want to keep the throttle in, using all of the curb on the way out. And here I messed up a little bit. I was carrying a bit too much speed. Yeah, I did brake, but not enough, maybe a bit too late. The car didn't really turn in as much as I wanted to. I want to put two wheels here, and I kind of missed this curb. And because I missed this curb, easy 10th. You can see it in my relatives in a replay lap. But again, the line was sort of correct. I just need to be a little bit tighter, so turn in a little bit earlier or brake a little bit harder. Using all of the curb on the exit, not a problem. If you can afford to, avoid using the green stuff here. It is a little bit faster if you just put two wheels around here, because the car has a tendency to bottom out here a little bit. Even though we've done a lot of work to try to solve it, the car has a tendency to bottom out, and because of that, you're losing a little bit of top end speed. This is a huge straight, so you want that. And that's it. That will give us a 130.708. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you think about it. Hop over to my Discord and Doc's Discord as well if you want more setup for LMP2s, GT3s, GTEs, and maybe more that I can convince him to do. That's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.